Okay, well this is my video. I've just spent a while playing around with the video size settings, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 video settings here in Litchi. I don't use the Fly app, I'm afraid, because Litchi is like using the Go app in your Mavic Pro, because you've just got more. It's not basic like the Fly app. So immediately you're using your Mavic Air 2 or your Mavic 2, and you've got the Mavic Pro 2 sort of settings. So there's a little tip for you. But I'm finding, I like wide angle. I'm finding that in, this is 1080p, see, 1080p. 1920 by 1080, 29 frames a second. Watch the zoom. The zoom will go in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 times. And I tell you what, it's let's get the camera down a bit. No, I can't. There's the camera coming down. To zoom on this controller, you have to have it in the video setting. You push that button there and you roll that forward, so it will zoom in, zoom out. So we know that I have been using mostly 1080p because it's smaller, 30 frames a second, but you have got 1080p at 25 frames a second. Why do people like that? Let's see what the zoom is on that. I know some people, I think it's television size, 8.5 as well. Let's go up to 23 frames. Why would you want to use that? Some video 8.5 again. I go up to 1512K. Starts off at 1.4. So when I go down to 1920 at 30 frames a second, it starts off at 1. Do you see what I mean? So I've got a wider angle there. Right, so if I start using anything higher than 1080p, I'm only going to get less zooming. This is 60 frames a second. What's that doing? So that's 4.2. So the 1080s got double the zoom. What about if I go to 30 frames a second in 1500K? 1500K. There isn't one. So I go up to this series, look. Right. Yeah, that's up and down the camera. Now zoom in. Let's see what we're going to get here. 6. I see. So that one gives you 6 times zoom. 1080 gives you 8.5 times zoom. And if I go up to, this is 1500K by 2688. I go up to this one, which is 4K at 60 frames a second. What do we get there? I think it's not going to zoom at all, is it? I heard that. Yeah. So if I go to 4K at 30 frames a second, yes, we've got zoom here, but I think it's only going to be 6 or 4. Oh, it's 4.3. And if we go up to 5.4K, which is the maximum, at 29, There's no zoom at all. And what's it starting off on? It's not as wide angle, you see, as the lower qualities. Let's go to 25 frames a second, see if it does anything. But pros are going to like 5.4K because it's the maximum. I haven't actually found it to be as big as 4K, surprisingly enough. I've been on YouTube looking for video settings and what people were recommended yesterday. And I kept coming across, not video settings, video size, but video in general and different types of video and like MOV and MP4. There's V something, MP4. I'm not going to on MP4 here. Look, I can have MP4 or MOV, but MOV only plays in, what's that video program in Apple? QuickTime? Is it called QuickTime Player? It'll play in that and it'll play in an Apple device. But MP4 is better. There's a lot to learn, you see, about here. And I went on YouTube and I couldn't find it. I just had those sort of videos about video formats, not video settings and sizes, and people telling you how to fly. If you're a beginner, you know, the settings you want to use. And most of them would say, I film in 4K and 5.4K. But they're talking to you like a complete beginner, and they get millions of views for people learning how to fly their DJI or whatever for the first time. Mostly people now are flying the Mini, aren't they? There's the Mini Pro, now there's the Mini Pro 3, and people are upset because they can't do missions. So let's go back to video size. This is what my video is about today, trying to help people and me. I'm going to stay at 1080p. 30 frames a second, because I've got 8 times zoom, which I do use the zoom. So I don't want to go too close to the waves because splashback could suck the drone down, and you wouldn't want that, would you? So if I went to 1080p, 50 frames a second, you see I've lost that wide angle again. So all the settings all have their little quirks. And I've always liked 1080p because it's a smaller size, say than 60 frames a second, 4K. It's going to fill up my 500 gigabyte laptop. It's going to fill up the phone if I transfer them.